Hi people, I'm back. My name's Stacy Haslett. I'm following up on my last video. We left off in 1971 is what was going on back then. Now we're going to move this thing up to about 1996 when we moved out to the property where we live with the Bigfoot clan. Anyway, we moved out here and cleared the land. It was all wooded. We cleared the land. We're in the middle of about 3,000 acres of woods right at that time. And it had been old strip land. Not much, no development, no anything was going on out here. It was all just wooded area. It was kind of nice. It wasn't flat land. It wasn't mountains. It was just rough land. It's kind of like what I would like. Anyway, we got everything cleared out around here. We had realized that we had a black bear problem, not a problem. We had some black bear back in my gorge. We realized we had a mountain lion running around our area. A lot of people in this area down here didn't believe any of it, but they found out later we was telling the truth. People who lived down close to this area for years didn't know this stuff was down here. So anyway, we got the land cleared and we're living here, and we're in a trailer. We're sitting at the trailer one night, and it was sometime late summer '96. We could hear a sound coming from an area about quarter mile, half mile, what I would call southeast of our trailer, in the other woods up on a hill. Then behind our trailer, we would hear the same sound, and they were talking back and forth. Now this animal sound, something you normally wouldn't hear, but I do remember watching History Channel. I believe it was History Channel, and they talked about a lot about Bigfoot on there. And this Mexican, either Mexican or New Mexico sheriff ran up on a Bigfoot. Did not have a video recorder, but he had a tape recorder, and he had recorded the sound that he had heard from that animal. And they took that recording and took it to a laboratory, and it was no sound of any known animal. It was not a mechanically made sound. They couldn't duplicate the sound, and they just had to say it was an unknown animal. So I remembered that sound very well. After my incident in 1971, I got a little more interested in Bigfoot. When I'm looking at the possibilities of maybe running into one, I got interested. So that sound was identical. I heard it. I didn't forget it. It was identical sound. It was a little different from hearing from a distance and hearing from that tape recorder, but it was basically the same sound. So that went on for rest of that summer, probably hit some of it the next summer. Didn't hear much in the winter. So that puts us up to about 1997 after that. Well, a friend of mine had property down here, and he decided to give it back to the people because the boundaries that he was told weren't the right boundaries for the property, so he didn't get the land he thought he was getting. So he wanted to get rid of it, so he wanted to sell it. I had another friend that wanted to possibly buy it. So my friend came down, showed him where the property was at, and he went down and looked around and come back and told us about a big footprint he found. So we went down and took pictures of this big footprint. And it was definitely a big footprint. We have a photo of it. We used a Bic lighter to indicate the size of it. Anyhow, we got that print. That was in about 97. I think it was in 1997. Anyway, after hearing them sounds and finding that print, I knew we were in an area where there was Bigfoot. Now, we're in southeastern Ohio, which there has been a lot of sightings in this area. Not exactly this area, but all around this area. And this all kind of just fell into play. So things stayed quiet for quite some time. Didn't hear much. Just we knew what we knew. And the next strange thing that happened while we were here, we had a lot of stray dogs show up on our road. Our property is out in the woods, a good ways out in the woods, and there's a road down through here, right by the house. You know, it's the main road, and it's a dirt road, and people come down here and they dump dogs. People have dogs they don't want. They bring them down this road, put them in the woods, and turn them loose. Well, consequently, I ended up by 1998, I probably had about 10 dogs. They just hung around. You know, they didn't go away. They just liked it here, and they just hung around. The funny thing about the dogs was, these dogs would be up all night long. You hear them outside doing whatever they was doing, running, whatever they was doing all night long. You hear the dogs moving around. Some nights, they would all pile up under my trailer. I didn't understand it. They would be quiet, and you just hear them trying to be quiet, and they'd bump the trailer. You knew they was under there, but they wasn't really whining or barking, yipping, nothing. So I thought that was strange. It happened quite often. Well, then I got thinking, well, quite possibly these are nights either the cat or the bear is out here prowling. So I went down the road about 2 miles down the road and up another road off to the right. There's a guy who's lived down there in those woods for the biggest part of his life. And he had dogs, and we got to know each other fairly well. So I went down and talked to him one time. One night we had the dogs all pinned up under the trailer, and I got thinking about it. And I got thinking, well, I'll go down and see old Tony and see what his dogs are doing. So I go down there and I talk to Tony, and Tony's telling me the same thing. On the same nights. We had to sit and figure it out, what nights, about approximate times. And the night before, the dogs are hiding. His dogs are hiding. My dogs are hiding. Like, is that the cat prowling around? Is that the bear prowling around? What's going on? What's scaring them dogs? So we never really did figure much out, except for one thing was where Tony's property was right behind his property, where my buddy's property was for sale. The footprint was right behind Tony's house, about probably say 1,000 feet from his house is where that footprint was. So that tells me that the foots were down around Tony's house, which makes sense. Now I'm starting to think that the dogs would hide when the foots were around, which makes sense to me. But anyway, that went on for a little while, and we never thought a whole lot more about it, because we never had any problems out of it. We just knew things were going on around here. So anyway, eventually I built a cage. People down the town did not believe us about the mountain lion. Well, the mountain lion come around his house all the time. Where I cleared my land to put my house was his home, because we found a lot of dead carcasses of different things on this area that had been kills. And okay, well, evidently I cleared out his land where he lived. This cat would come around my property at night, some late evening. It wouldn't even be dark, it'd just be late evening. Around the area where I have it cleared, he'd be the edge of the woods. You'd hear him grumbling out there, and just kind of, not real loud growl, just little grumbles. He'd be on one side of the property, he'd be over to the other side of the property, he'd be the back of the property, and you just hear him grumbling. You know, just like, hi, I'm here. Okay. So that could have been what scared the dogs off. I don't know. But now, at this point in time, I don't think so. But anyway, the thing with the cat was, I heard enough out of the people around town that they didn't believe about the cat. So I built a cage to catch the cat. And it took me a while to build it, and Sharon helped me on it. And we got a nice big 4 by 8 by 8. It's 8 foot long, 4 foot high, 4 foot wide. It's a barred cage with a trap door and the whole bit. It's a really nice trap, actually. And we built this up and never got to use it. Is about that was probably in about 2000. That was probably about 2001 that we did this cage, because the cat was around a lot. Wasn't really scary, but he was there. Well, one time before I built the cage, I did get scared by the cat, which I thought was a cat. I have a shop down in the gorge. I went down to it one time, and on the way down there, I felt something watching me. And like, what is this? Something is, I mean, I could feel it. My hair in the back of my neck was going up. I didn't have no weapons, no nothing. I'm just going down there. It's quite a ways down from the house. I have 45 acres, and this all covers under 45 acres. Anyway, I'm going down there to my trailers down there in the gorge, and I'm all the way down in the middle between the house and there. There's no going back, so I just kept going forward. But there was something watching me. You could just feel something watching you. And the only thing I'm thinking is, that cat's going to pounce on me. He finally decided to pounce. So I'm like, I can't see him nowhere. I'm looking for something to protect myself with. I didn't find nothing. So I just kept going until I got up to my trailer, and I got up my trailer and stayed up there with my machines and working up there. So later when I got ready to leave, I didn't feel it. So I felt safe. So I go ahead and left. But I thought that was a cat watching me. So anyway, that's when I started to build the cat cage. I said, I'm going to catch this thing, show everybody he's here, and this type thing. And we still have the cage, hasn't been used. So the cat didn't come around for quite a while. He used to make a pretty, about every 30 days, every 2 months maybe, he'd show up around here and let us know he was here. Well, that ceased for a while. Then he'd show up, and then he wouldn't show up. Well, since then, I've had a lot of neighbors around here, not right here, but in this area. Other people have seen the cat around here as well. One guy watched him run across the back of his property. He's a big cat. Well, come to find out, there's a lot more than one out here. Well, that's when the land was all wooded all around here. Everything was all wooded. Well, since then, the mining company has come by and stripped a lot of this land out again. But before that, I'm trying to stay on track with the story. I'm trying to do this out of memory. But we had a lot of indications of the Bigfoot back then, and this has all fell true so many times up to what leads up to today. So next video I'm going to try to take you out and show you the property and show you areas of what we're looking at out here, so you get an understanding of what I'm telling you. This is all very, very true. Just like I said in my other videos, we're all willing to do. Right now, I have Johnny and Sharon. They also will agree to a polygraph for what they know about what's happened out here. They'll both be in these videos. You'll see who they are. But I'm writing a book. There's going to be a lot more in this book than what I'm telling you now, because I can't put all this together. I have to sit and just go over everything, and there's not enough time. There's been many incidents that happened that I just can't get into all the detail in this video. But I'm letting you know, Bigfoot's real. They're my best friends. Whether anybody wants to believe that or not, they're my best friends. And when I tell you what I have to tell you later, you'll understand why I say that. So I'm doing my best to get this across to people. It's important that everybody knows about them. So pass this on, share it with your friends, do whatever you got to do. This is to benefit everybody as well as the Bigfoots. And I'm being honest, telling the honest truth, and I just hope you believe me, and I hope somebody pays attention. Please share this. I don't know how you do that, but, you know, I'm not much on these video things. Okay, thank you.